All right. So it says find x if we know A, point U is between points F and N, FU is equal to 6x plus 2, UN is equal to 10x minus 4, FU is congruent to UN. Draw a picture. All right, so we're going to draw a picture here. What should the ends of my line segment be called? F and N. We know that U is in between them somewhere, but because of what it says down here in part D, I know exactly where I have to put point U. Where does point U have to go? In the middle. Has to go exactly in the middle. So I'm going to put point U. What'd you say? Because part D here says that segment FU and segment UN are congruent, which means the same size. So if those two segments are the same size, the only way that can happen is if U is the exact halfway point. Thank you. Wonderful. All right. We know from statement B that FU is 6x plus 2, this right here. And we know that from statement C, UN is 10x minus 4. And we are supposed to find x. Well, if segment FU and segment UN are congruent, then what does that mean about their measurements? They're equal. Segment FU is congruent to segment UN, so the measurement of segment FU is equal to the measurement of segment UN. So in the place of FU, we can replace that with 6x plus 2. Drop my equal sign down. In the place of UN, we can replace that with 10x minus 4. And then we're going to solve this for x. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my x's on the same side by subtracting 6x from both sides. So that would give me 2 equals 4x minus 4. And then I add 4 on both sides. That gives me 6 equals 4x. And then we divide both sides by 4. Does anybody happen to know what 6 divided by 4 is? 1.5 for x. All right. What else would you guys like to see from the review? Which one? Number 1? Absolutely. Let's go back to the front side of the first page. Where did I put my block? Here it is. All right. So I have a little block to help us visualize what's going on in this problem. We are supposed to circle all of the true statements. Circle all of the true statements. It says points C, B, and F are collinear. What does collinear mean again? All on the same line, yes. And it said C, B, and F. So C would be like this point back here, B would be here, and F would be down here. Are those 3 points all on the same line at the same time together? No, it has to go around a bend, and so they're not all on the same line together. So A is not correct. All right, B. Points H, right here, E, and F are coplanar. What does coplanar mean? All on the same plane, all on the same flat surface together. So if this is my box, H is this point back here, E is this point right here, and F is this point over here. Are all three of those points on the same flat space together? Yes. They are all part of the bottom of the box. So we're going to circle that one. All right. The intersection of segment DC, here's segment DC, and segment CG, here's segment CG, is segment BC. Here's segment BC. Do the light blue and dark blue lines touch everywhere that is circled in red? No, then that is not the intersection of those two lines. They touch at C, but they don't touch at B. So C is not correct. The intersection of plane A, E, H, here's A, here's E, here's H, so that's this side over here, and plane HEF, H, E, F, that's the bottom, is EH. Here's segment EH. Do the red and orange planes touch everywhere along that black circled segment? Yes. So this would be true. So we would circle that one. Number 2, absolutely. You had a question, Kobe? All right, give me just a second and we'll do number 2. Square root is second and x squared. Yep, there you go. All right, number 2. Find TS. So I want to talk first about notation. What is over the top of TS, or is there anything over the top of TS? There's nothing up there. What does that mean when there's nothing over the top of 2 capital letters? Distance, yes. This is distance or length. So this happened a couple times yesterday while we were taking the skills check. We had a question where it said find and then 2 capital letters with nothing over the top. And I had a lot of people raising their hands asking, what is it that I'm supposed to be finding? Tomorrow on the test, I won't be able to answer that question for you because one of the things that we were responsible for learning in this module was, one of the things that we're responsible for learning in this module is the different notations and what those notations mean. So one of the things that I'm testing on those questions is, do you know what it means to have 2 capital letters with nothing over the top? And that means that we're looking for distance or length. So that is something that you have to know going into tomorrow. Yes. You will get the distance formula and the midpoint formula on the test. Yes. Restroom? Yes. All right, so we're going to find the distance or the length of segment TS. So I need TS equals, and then a big square root sign. Inside the square root sign, we need parentheses. We do x2 minus x1. You have to write your name on there and the date and the time, and then put this marker in the caddy on the corner of my desk. So why don't we let point T be our x1, y1, and our point S be x2, y2. We do x2 minus x1, so negative 5 minus 1. Close the parentheses and square that. Goes right there. Plus, and then we need another set of parentheses, and we're going to do the same thing with the y's. y2, which is 16, minus, I need you to put your phone away, please. You had your phone out just a second ago. No? Okay, my apologies then. I thought I saw that as I walked past. Negative 4. Close the parentheses and square it. One of the things that I want to point out is I will give you the distance formula. You do not have to memorize it, but please, please, please Make sure that you're putting the plus signs in the right places and the minus signs in the right places. It's really important because if you put a plus sign where you're supposed to have a minus sign, it's going to give you the wrong answer and you mess up your work from there on forward. Right. What happens in this second set of parentheses where we are minusing a negative number? Becomes a positive, yes. All right, so I have TS equals big square root negative 5 minus 1 squared plus, this becomes 16 plus 4 squared. What is negative 5 minus 1? Negative 6, yes. So I have negative 6 squared plus, what is 16 plus 4? 20, so I have 20 squared. What types of numbers do we get when we square things? What type of number? Always positive. Always positive. Make sure you are using the parentheses on your calculator, because if you put it into the calculator without the parentheses, your calculator will lie to you. It will tell you that it's a negative number and it's not. It'll mess you up from that point forward. So what is negative 6 squared? 36. What about 20 squared? 400. So we add those two together, we get 436 underneath the square root. One of the other things that I wanted to mention when you're doing distance formula, please make sure that every time you rewrite the expression, you rewrite the equation, you're putting that square root over your numbers. If you stop writing it down, you forget to do it at the end. And this distance is definitely not 436 units. It's a lot less than that. So we have to take the square root of that number. When you pop this into your calculator, you get about 20.881. When you put this in the calculator, what do you do if it doesn't give you a decimal at first? The arrow's right above the enter key. So after you hit enter, if it does not give you the decimal, then you hit the button right above enter to get your decimal answer. All right. What else are we supposed to find on this problem? The midpoint. Okay, so we have 20.881 for the length of TS. And then we need our midpoint. You get the midpoint formula. X1 plus X2 over 2. Y1 plus Y2 over 2. Close the parentheses. So now we're going to substitute into our midpoint formula. X1 is 1 plus my X2, which is negative 5, over 2, comma. And then Y1, which is negative 4, plus Y2, which is 16, over 2. Close the parentheses. What is 1 plus negative 5? Negative 4. So I have negative 4 over 2. What is negative 4 over 2? Negative 2. So negative 2 is the x part of my midpoint. What is negative 4 plus 16? 12. And 12 over 2 gives us 6. So negative 2, 6 is our midpoint. Sorry, I'll move. What else would you guys like to see? Number 19? Absolutely. Let's go look at number 19. Point R is between points T and Y. TY is 3 less than quadruple the length of RY. TR is 6 more than RY. Find the length of TY, draw a picture. So we're going to start with the drawing picture part. Did it say anything about pieces being congruent? Did it say anything about midpoints? It said, nope, not on this problem. What are the names of the ends of my line segment? T and Y. Somewhere in between T and Y, we have a point R. This is not at the halfway point because it didn't say anything about congruent and it didn't say anything about midpoints. TY is 3 less than quadruple the length of RY. Do we know how big RY is? No. But I'm being given a comparison to RY, so I'm going to call this X for right now. What does quadruple mean? Multiply by 4 times, yes. Multiply by 4. And 3 less than means to do what? Subtract 3. So we have to start with something, and then we have to take 3 away from it. So TY from here all the way over to here is 3 less, so I'm going to minus 3 from something. Then quadruple the length of RY. What did we call RY? X. So 4x take away 3. 4x take away 3. Thank you, Asna. Thank you. TR is 6 more than RY. What did we call RY again? X. And 6 more would mean to do what? Add 6. So something plus 6. So this is going to be X plus 6. We have 3 segments in the picture. I need you to put your phone away, please, Daniel. There are 3 segments in the picture. What are the 2 little segments? TR and RY. TR plus RY equals, what's the name of the big segment? TY. And now we're going to substitute in what we've come up with. In the place of TR, we're going to put X plus 6. In the place of RY, we're just going to put X. And in the place of TY, we're going to put 4x minus 3. Now over on the left, I've got some like terms to combine together. I have x and x to combine to give me what? 2x. So 2x plus 6 equals 4x minus 3. Then I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That would give me 6 equals 2x minus 3. Then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 6 plus 3 gives me 9 equals 2x. And then we divide both sides by 2. What is 9 divided by 2? 4.5 is equal to x. Is that what they asked me to find in this problem? No, I'm supposed to find what? The length of ty. Well, ty was 4x minus 3. And in the place of x, we're going to put what? 4.5. So I have 4 times 4.5 minus 3. What is 4 times 4.5? 18. And 18 minus 3 would give us 15. So ty is equal to 15. All right. What else would you guys like to see? How did I get x plus x? Gives us 2x. Yep. The 2x came from this x plus this x. What was the other one? Number 18? Okay, let's go look at 18. On a number line, if AB equals 3 and the coordinate of A is -2, then where is the midpoint coordinate of AB? Draw a number line. All right, so let's start with drawing a number line. All right. It says the coordinate of A is -2. So I'm going to put that right here. -2, that's A. So this would be -1. This would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and on and on and on that way. Or I can go the other direction, do -3, -4, -5, -6, on and on that way. What is this part, AB equals 3, telling me? It's the length, yes. That is the length of AB. Did it say which direction point B was from point A? No. So if it is 3 units, that'd be 1, 2, 3 hops. So point B could be right here. Thank you. Yes, this will all be up on Canvas. Or point B could be 3 hops the other direction. So point B could be over here. We're going to need to find those midpoint coordinates. So what is a midpoint? The middle point, yes. What is half? What is the middle of 3? 1.5. So I can go 1 1/2 a hop to get to a possible midpoint. Or I could go the other way, 1 1/2 a hop to get to the other possible midpoint. Is this one on the positive or negative side of the number line? This is positive? Negative, because over here is where the positives start, on the right side of 0. This is on the negative side, and we're not all the way to -1 yet. Where is that? 0.5, -0.5. Or the other possibility is that it's right here, in between -3 and -4. What's halfway in between -3 and -4? -3.5. So it could be either one of those because they didn't tell me which way my segment went. So I don't know whether the segment goes to the left or to the right of point A. All right. What else would you guys like to see from the review? Number 23? Absolutely. Let's go look at number 23. Number 23 is a lot like number 2, actually. Starts off by saying graph and label, and then it says GO with a dash over the top. What does that dash mean? Segment. It means when I connect my dots, I don't go past them. I stop at those ends. So we're going to plot point G. Remember, the first number is your X number. That tells you how far left or right to go. So we're going to go left 4 and up 3 to plot our first point here at G. You have to label your points. Just putting a dot is not enough. You have to label the point. O is at 6, negative 5. So from the origin, we go right 6 and down 5 to get to our point O down here. Make sure you label your points and then connect them with a segment. If you don't connect them on a question that has that little segment notation over the top, you will get points off because you did not graph what they asked you to graph. All right, then the next thing it says is find the midpoint of GO and label it point H. All right, so we need our midpoint formula. Midpoint equals parentheses x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2, close the parentheses. So over with my points G and O, I need one of these to be my x1, y1, one to be my x2, y2. So let's let point G be the x1, y1, and let's let O be x2, y2. What are we supposed to call the midpoint here? H. So I'm going to have H equals parentheses. We take our x1, which is negative 4, plus our x2, which is 6, and put it over 2, comma. Next fraction, y1, which is 3, plus y2, which is negative 5, over 2. Close the parentheses. What is negative 4 plus 6? 2. So I have 2 over 2. What is 3 plus negative 5? Negative 2 over 2. 2 over 2 simplifies to what? 1. Negative 2 over 2 simplifies to negative 1. So here's my point H. We're going to go add that to the graph. 1, negative 1, right here. Here's my point H. And then there's one last piece to the directions. It says, then find GH. And there's nothing on top of GH. So what am I looking for? What am I finding? Distance, yes. This is the distance, sometimes also referred to as the length. And we're going in between what two letters? G and H. Are those both endpoints? No. Are either of them endpoints? One of them, which one? G is an endpoint, so what is H then? The midpoint. Let's continue to let G be the x1, y1 for our distance formula, but now H is going to be our x2, y2 for the distance formula. So the distance from G to H equals big, long square root sign, parentheses, x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is negative 4, close the parentheses, and square it, plus parentheses, y2, that's negative 1, minus y1, which is 3, close the parentheses and square it. What happens in the first set of parentheses where we're subtracting that negative? Becomes addition. Always write it down as subtraction first and change it to addition if the problem calls for it. So I have 1 plus 4 squared plus negative 1 minus 3 squared. What is 1 plus 4? 5. So I have 5 squared plus, what is negative 1 minus 3? Negative 4 squared. When you square a number, you always get what type of number back? Always a positive. 5 squared is how much? 25 plus, what is negative 4 squared? 16. Please don't forget to continue writing the square root symbol over your numbers. We get the square root of 41. And what is that when you put that into your calculator? I didn't hear. What did we say? 6.403. Yes. All right, I have time for about one more question. What would you guys like to see last? Yes. Number 25? Absolutely. For number 25, you have to look at problem number 24. We're on the very back side. It says, for the picture in number 24, write 4 true equations using the betweenness of points, the segment addition postulate. So I'm looking for little segments that I can put together to make big segments. Well, here I have a little one, and it's right next to this little one. What are the names of those 2 segments that I just circled? RS and ST. So RS plus ST equals, what would I get if I put those 2 together? RT. Beautiful. What about if I did this little segment with this little segment? What are the names of the 2 little ones? ST plus TW. When I put those together, that would give me what? SW. Yes. This line has 3 little segments on it. It has this one, and this one. What are the names of all 3 of those? RS plus ST plus TW. If I put all 3 little segments together, what would I get? RW. Well, what about if I start off with the whole big segment, RW, and I take away, come on, I take away this part right here. So I start with this whole thing, but then I take away RS. So minus RS. What would I be left with? SW. Yes. Very nice work. All right. With our last couple minutes of time, I want to show you guys where you can find all of these answers. I will be collecting this test review tomorrow and grading it for completion. So I'll be looking, did you go through and try all of the problems? Did you work through all of the problems? If you go to modules, you scroll almost to the bottom of module 1. Come on. Scroll almost to the bottom of module 1 until you see today's date, Thursday, 8/14. You're going to click on that and then scroll down. I have videos posted from 1st and 2nd period. 3rd and 7th period will be going up later. The other class is asked about different problems. So if you want to hear me explain different problems, you can get in and watch one of these other videos. But down at the very, very, very bottom of the page, Module 1 test review, click on that, and it will open up my answer key that shows all of my work. So you can see all of the problems with all of the work for the entire test review.